Hey, everybody. I'm back with Michael Ellenbogen. And from our last conversation, we were talking about advanced directives. You might think Michael spends a lot of time worrying about his future and what kind of things. And it's like, he did that. He did it, and he speaks out about it, but he's got other things on his plate these days. So I wanted this courageous conversation to focus a little bit on where else is Michael advocating these days? And I should say, where in the world is Michael advocating these days? So Michael, talk with us a little bit about what you're up to these days in advocacy work.
Well, before I do that, I just want to start out by saying a little bit about how I got started. 10, 12 years ago, I was probably one of the few people out there. You know, my best friend, Richard Taylor, I loved him. There was only a few people. There was probably about 3 or 4 people. So I realized that there weren't people speaking about dementia. And I had to change that. As you know, I'm a fixer. And I've figured out ways to go out there and do all that. And over the years, I had the luxury of meeting some of the greatest people out there in the world. I built a huge LinkedIn network of over 18,000 today. And these are all CEOs, kings, queens, all the top level people in the world who can possibly bring some sort of change to the dementia arena. I believe in dropping seeds, because I may drop a seed today and you might not do anything, but the next person that comes around and they hear the same thing, it will say, oh yeah, well maybe I should do that. And certain people I've learned, you drop enough seeds in a company and they all start sharing things together. I won't mention this huge technology company, but it starts with an I. They started to support it. And it took a lot of getting in touch with a lot of people within the organization, and they all started sharing similar information with each other. So I believe it works. So because of that, I got into doing this advocacy and trying to push all the organizations out there to change and get involved. And I think I was very fortunate because I learned a lot from others who were already doing advocacy. My friend, boy, I can't think of his name. He's on the other side of the pond in the UK. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Oh God.
Anyway, Norm McNamara.
Norm Abram. Yep. Norm.
Me and I and a few others, we got together. We decided we were going to change the world, and we did. We slowly did. And you know, I was fortunate because I got to speak in front of the World Health Organization in Geneva when that was the kickoff for dementia not in the United States, in the world. I was representing the U.S. I've had 3 congressional records written, and I've been lucky because I've been able to meet so many congressmen and senators, and I still do today, and get to speak at these things. I've testified in front of Congress and local states. I've been on the Pennsylvania State Planning Committee, and I was appointed by the governor of Pennsylvania. Now I've moved to Maryland. I'm already on the Maryland government involved. I'm changing it. I mean, I've only been here 5 months, and my God, Maryland's a mess. But I'm changing it. And, you know, like I said, you know, it takes somebody who, in my opinion, you can't always be tactful if you want to bring change. You know, it just burns me up.
I know nothing about that, Michael. I'm so tactful, and I never say words like shit or pissed off or anything like that, because I know people living with dementia would never, ever utter those words. And so why would I say them occasionally to help people appreciate it's about dementia and somebody being really frustrated with something or angry about something and losing impulse control and language skills, but still having swear words available. You know, but it's like, well, what do you want me to do? Well, he gets upset. No, he's pissed.
That's right. And like just this week, you know, I was on Davos meetings. Davos, for people who don't know, that is probably the highest level you can reach that's trying to change the world for all kind of issues. And, you know, my wife is like yelling in the background because I'm putting all these comments to them. But you know what? That's how we're going to bring change. You might not like the comments, but they're real. They're probably things that other people are thinking about. And, you know, I just happen to not fear anybody, and I don't treat the top level people as they're somebody special. They put on the same shirt, they put on the same pants, and we're all the same. And, you know, that's, I think, part of the problem. So many people fear these people out there, and they think that they're different. They're no different than we are. You know, and I think that's the key, that we have to let these people in on things. And yes, they're very, very, very busy people. So you have to keep up and keep up. You know, so many people say, well, I've gone to Congress and I'm giving up. It's like, well, because you've gone once, twice, or three times, that ain't enough. You have to be the squeaky wheel. The squeaky wheel works. Trust me, I've been doing it all my life. And I've been able to change so much in this world, not only for dementia, but even when I did things for other things, you know, for consumers all my life. I changed all kind of products and things for consumers by reaching out to the top people that can bring the change. Because so many times we have these things in our minds that we think that I can't change something, or we complain and bitch about it. But you know what? Most of the time, the people that we're trying to change don't know about it. So unless you go out of your way and write down what the issues are, what you think needs to change, and give them some clear suggestions, people don't address it. And I have learned that most of these people are so thankful to know and to hear it from somebody, as long as you're not chewing them out and, you know, going out after them the hard way, because most people at the top don't know the issues. And that's what I think has made me successful in my advocacy, is that I go out and I reach out to these people. I treat them with respect, but I also tell them all the hard issues and where we need things. And so many times, like so many government officials will tell me, but Mike, I don't hear people with dementia telling me about this. I said, well, you know what? This disease is totally different than other diseases. The people with dementia can no longer write. They can't speak for themselves. They just can't do this. So, and of course, there are no survivors. So it's not like cancer that everybody's happy as shit and saying, hey, I survived. I'm out there talking. I can't wait for the day we have survivors for dementia. But until then, they need to change their tune. And, you know, so I was really pissed off about that too, because there are no people with dementia. So I said, well, let's get the damn people who are the caregivers to stand up for those with dementia. Oh my God, that was a big mistake. They're so bombarded with everyday life, taking care of their loved one. And by the time their loved one finally passes, all they want to do is say, to hell with this. I want to start to live my life again. I don't want to deal with dementia anymore. So they're not out there advocating. There was a few, don't get me wrong, but the majority of them have had it. And they're just trying to gain their life back. Some of them I've seen 20 years dealing with their loved ones in the worst stages, I mean, I can understand it. I understand it. So that's why the world needs to rethink on how we address these issues. You know, you can't say what worked for other diseases is going to work for dementia, because dementia is totally different. You know, the whole thing of how we deal with medications and things for dementia is different. We don't need medications. We need socializing and things like that. So we have to rethink outside the box on what's important to people with dementia. And that's what people need to start to try to understand, that in order to still enjoy life, while there are no medications or ways to slow it down, how do we make the people enjoy life while they're still around? So that's part of my advocacy that I do out there. For 9 years now, I'd say I've spent a lot of time in this world, mostly in the US, but 9 years now, I was able to get a lady named Kiki Edwards in Africa to be the first person to work with ADI, Mark Wortman. I connected them, and they ended up forming, she sold all her gold, her jewelry, all the stuff, just so she could be a part of ADI. We met because I saw something over there in Africa where a woman was locked in chains all day long. She was just laying there in the heated sun. And I remember reaching out to Mark Wortman. I said, Mark, you got to do something about this. And Mark did. He did. Since that time, I realized that while I'm making an impact in the United States, and I was already I had 10 goals, and I was already probably more than half of them successful at already. I started concentrating on Africa because I had to do very little to educate the people of Africa to become better and bring change there. Over there, they think they don't know what the word dementia is. They do not know what the word dementia is. But if you say witchcraft, they'll know that. And there'll be a person who is a woman in dementia, who has dementia, who's locked away in chains, who's left in some hut all day long, no feeding, nobody taking care of the person. The last person to get food, if there is some food left over, it's horrible. It's horrible. And these people in Africa have a thirst for knowledge. The sad part is there's been nobody going over there doing what I'm doing, or very few trying to educate them. And I've now built a network of, I'd say, 800 to 1,200, I'm not sure how many at this point, across all of Africa. In fact, I have some meetings in the next couple of weeks. My goal is to create a continent of all of those people in Africa to take over this themselves. And I want a few key people to run the whole thing and to meet with all these people once or twice a year, and also to break it out by regions so the regions meet more frequently, and that they all can hopefully learn and inspire each other with what they've learned from each other, and to learn to communicate with each other. Because one of the biggest problems I've reached out in Africa is they're very different languages. And even within the languages, different dialects. A lot of the conversations I've had were on cell phones. And they pass Zoom meetings out on cell phones. And these people are sitting on deserts and out in the open. There's no chairs, nothing. I mean, it just fathers my mind. And I would talk to one guy, and you have to understand, for me, who's living with dementia, it's hard because they have to translate. So I had to say a couple words. He would translate a couple more words. And then by that time, I'm losing my thoughts. But what can I do? You know, I'm just trying to do the good. And they would then take questions from the audience, and then he would have to translate that. And I'm sure shit got lost in all that, but we did the best we could to try to help these people. And these people are just so wonderful. And I can't say enough about how nice these folks are and how they want to learn. I just wish there was more people to step in to help feed some of these people, because dementia is not a big problem over there. They have bigger problems to deal with. They have food, water, clothing. And I mean, forget about MRIs or PET scans over there. It's all just talking to a doctor that can educate them. So there's so much that has to happen over there. And it's a shame.
Yeah. And so Michael is doing his part of raising awareness and then helping build knowledge. And then they'll be ready for some skill. And the reality is building that platform becomes really critical. And we've had some people reach out to Positive Approach to Care who have started to become aware of what's happening in their community to people living with dementia, and then get curious about the stuff that we have available. So we have somebody in South Africa, we have somebody in Nairobi area. We're starting to have that kind of connection. And as y'all know, our work is definitely about hands-on support, recognition, acknowledgement. How can we have this be different? But if people believe people are possessed by demons, then you can't have them in your house because the demons enter your house. And for someone who that's not their cultural belief, it seems ridiculous. But when it is your very strong cultural belief, trying to find ways to pick this apart and to help people appreciate things, just as in this country, well, it's just a memory problem. Oh, I wish. That idea of taking what people think and believe and opening up that awareness, that's what both Michael and we are about. But his way and venue and his way of approaching things, wow, he's at the high view and then he works it down, and I come in at the bottom and try to work my way up one mind at a time, and he's got 18,000. Sort of tells you, we are different people, but together, as we all do what we can, we are, I believe, changing the face of people living with dementia's fate and their existence and their abilities, because it's going to take society to acknowledge this is a life-changing disease. It's not a health condition. I mean, it is so much more than a health condition. It is a life-changing phenomena. And it's a disability, but it's progressing. Yeah, it's this, but it's that. And it's ever changing. It never settles. It never sits still. So our interventions are never going to be able to sit still if we're going to be effective. So, Michael, thank you for what you've done. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for all the work that you're doing in the world. And most of all, thanks for being who you are and trying your very best to make a difference, because I think that's what it's all about. So thank you.
Thank you, Teepa. That's what happens when you're a workaholic. You can't give up.
Nope. How to make it work. Hi, I'm Teepa Snow, and you just found our YouTube channel and watched one of our videos. I'm the owner and founder of Positive Approach to Care. Thanks for watching. And if you liked, if you have a comment about, or you would, please share it with people you know. Oh, and if you haven't yet done it, consider subscribing. We'll let you know when the next new video comes out. And you might want to visit our website, www.teepasnow.com, where you'll find other resources as well. See you there.